Ah, lovely.
What a great track from Tracksuit Larry there.
Thank you, Tracksuit Larry. Their single and their band are available on their Linktree.
Oh, that's nice. We get more band submissions in.
Yeah, so
Last one was a hit.
Tr.ee/Tracksuit Larry.
Nice.
If you want to check out that person's band. Thank you very much.
Our previous band, Vanadian Straits, what were they called?
Wasn't Vanadian.
Mantis State.
Mantis State.
I like that name. Vanadian Straits.
They confirmed that they were in fact real fans, which was good.
That's nice.
I think
to
a
know,
recent
isn't it?
video or of the podcast, they said I am a true fan and I've been sub for a while and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, all right, yeah, we'll promote it. And I was seconds away from deleting that.
I think it'd be really rare for someone not to be a fan if they're listening again.
And sending an email in.
33.
They sent a nice long email as
we get
well.
a lot of emails to promote shit for free though.
But did you read the Mantis State one?
Not like this.
That's why I included it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought it was Vanadian Steel.
That's a
Scandinavian
fictional
alt
band.
rock band, Vanadian Steel.
That's your own fictional band. But keep the name. It sounds
good.
Well, it was Venerian Straits.
Venereal Straits.
Venereal Straits. Anyway, I'm Ross Hornby.
I'm Chris Trott.
And I'm Alex Smith, and I'm in a Venereal Straits. It's
Nice.
They're using the last of the antibiotics on me. After this, if this one doesn't work, I'll have to live with it. Slowly go mad.
We've got some fun hypotheticals for you today.
Yeah.
Is it which antibiotics would work against my venereal disease?
None.
If you had to create an
how
antibiotic,
different are the antibiotics?
I don't know. Let's
Are you-
go. I'm not going to
Chemist Smith, please tell me.
No.
How different are all the antibiotics? Or if you took one antibiotic, will it cure everything?
Can do.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever been on a course of antibiotics.
Never been on a course of antibiotics. Holy shit! No wonder
Right.
I've got so many mental problems. I've been on loads of them.
But they say
my
you shouldn't,
natural
right?
biome is fucked.
They say you shouldn't, right?
No, yeah, you
Because
should.
it's fucking
You
up.
shouldn't for, reasons.
Yeah. Otherwise, it becomes what? Like,
But if you
doesn't
have
actually do what it's
genuine
supposed to do.
infection,
You
then
need to cure an
should
infection.
use the way to cure an infection is the magic of antibiotics.
Otherwise, you could die.
But
But how do we trust doctors?
well, you can't. Obviously,
We can't go into
you've
the
got to
lack
go
of.
into the GP with a healthy dose of skepticism under your belt.
No, it's fine.
No,
It's fine.
we don't.
We don't.
7 years of teaching, is that enough?
It's more than you've done on Google.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more.
I don't think we
WebMD
should-
is the answer, isn't it?
That is the answer.
But it always leads to the same result.
No, it's not.
Let's
small
just train
cough.
cancer doctors because that's all everyone's
TB.
got.
Got it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Well,
Go to your doctors.
Yeah, and sometimes you do need antibiotics.
Mm.
But it's crazy. I can't believe that you have never had any. Have you ever had an ear infection? You ever had like
An
chest
infection?
infection?
I must have
infections?
had someone when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's like tablets.
Yeah. Oh no, I know what it is, but it's just I haven't had them in my adult life.
Yeah. And the only thing I know about antibiotics is that there are several kinds because one of them's penicillin, and so anything when you have something like amoxicillin, things like that, that's made of penicillin. But then there's other types of antibiotics that aren't penicillin because some people are allergic to penicillin, and that means that
There's an alternative.
you have an alternative, thankfully.
Shit. Okay. Well, thanks.
Nice.
Thanks, guys. I don't need a doctor, and I've got you guys around.
Right.
Just mold some bread and then you get penicillin.
And I've actually got a little lump that I want you guys to look at later.
Yeah, I'll snip that bad boy off. I'm a
Wow.
snipper.
That doesn't need
He's
antibiotics.
a snipper. Can you just
needs some
double check
scissors.
that it needs snipping before he does it?
I'm a snipper.
Well, you got to.
Snip first,
that's
ask
fair
questions later.
Okay.
Of the paramedics.
Disgusting.
None of those subjects are in the hypotheticals.
Well,
to answer your question,
Thank God.
Well, that's good because it's fresh.
I don't know.
It means
anything.
whatever we said there won't be repeated. Well, shall I go for the first one then?
well, thank you to our wonderful supporters
Yes.
for providing these wonderful hypotheticals.
Thank
one of which was batshit insane.
Was it?
But
you
it's
use it?
also
Is
the
it
third
the
option.
really long one? Yeah, I see
It's
that.
the really long one, but wasn't voted on. So thank you for voting well. Anyone that's a member or a Twitch subscriber or a patron can vote on these things now. You just have to go to our Discord or on Patreon. It's available there to do your votes. And number one, most voted
Number one.
hypothetical.
Is as follows, and this is from David C. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
Superstitions suddenly come to fruition. Step on crack, break mother's back, etc. Which would you do or avoid? Well, how many are there? So there's so stepping on a crack, you break your mother's back. That's the classic one. What's the other one? What about the superstition of walking over like 3 drains? Or 2 drains is good luck, 3 drains is
There's
bad luck.
so many.
And like,
that border
do they
on
all have to be like fun rhyming things, like the back and the
most popular?
You want to know the only time I've ever been superstitious?
When
In
you
answer
watched-
to your question, none of them.
None of them.
Because I'm willfully against superstition.
That's
Like
good.
I actively like if something says,
If someone
"Oh, don't
says,
do that,"
"Ooh."
I'm like, I'm going to go under the ladder. I'm going to shake the fucking thing. I'm going to try and scare the guy on it. You know?
Oh yeah,
like,
don't go under the ladder. That's the one.
You're going to die very quickly then.
No,
Yeah, not necessarily.
No,
I feel like the under the ladder.
You are.
If anything, the
Too easy.
unlucky part is the fact that it might break.
Well, this is
slide
real
down
now.
on you.
Superstitions are real.
So the only time I can remember being superstitious or behaving in a way that would adhere to superstition
Yeah.
was one time when years and years ago, I was about 12, 13 years old, and we used to have this garden that was on like a raised up area, and like beneath it was our driveway that kind of went around like a raised garden, right? And this was a back garden, and we had this one tree, the stubborn little shitty tree in the corner. I think it was like a fir tree or something. It wasn't something nice. My dad had cut all of it off, and I'd used all of the limbs, all of the bits that come off the tree to make a little like, so where this garden was raised, there was a raised bit, then a drop which had a little pathway, and then like the side of a garage wall, right? And I made a little lean-to out of all the fir trees, right? I made this like hide, basically. It looked a bit like a bird hide or something. And I was like, hey, I made a little fucking house, like with some bamboo sticks and some fir tree, but you know, whatever. And he was trying to get the rest of this fir tree out, and he decided to use a Land Rover to pull the tree out of the ground, because trees have lots of roots. I don't know if you've ever tried digging a tree up, but it's an absolute
I
nightmare.
haven't needed to.
So you can basically you can chainsaw through as much of the bottom of it as possible to try and like release it from the ground, but it really wants to stay in the ground. They're pretty good at staying in the ground. So he thought, oh, I know, I'll use my Land Rover. It's like a 4x4 if you don't know what that is, to drag the tree out using a rope. And I was like, this is fucking dodgy. Even as a 13-year-old, I was like, this feels like I could die here.
Was this in your napalm era or
This is about pre-napalm.
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 Okay, sorry, just to get an idea.
And I was watching it happen, and he was accelerating, and this rope was getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and then the wind started rising, and I was like, I'm getting quite nervous about this rope. I was watching from my little hide. So the rope is now split across our garden. It's going between the middle in a diagonal across our garden. I'm basically to the side of it, about 20 feet away. Not very far away, really. And I was like, this could be really fucking... this could snap and cut me in half, maybe. And the wind started blowing really hard, and I was like, nah, I'll be all right. And so I was watching, and then the wind blew really, really hard again, and I was like, all right, I'll duck down. And so I ducked down into my little hide, and bang, the rope went, whipped straight across the top, ripped the top of my little shouter off, slapped along the wall, all sorts of stuff like that, right, of the garage. And I was like, fuck. For some reason, for some element of play or fun in my head, I was like, I'm going to pretend the wind's trying to tell me something and adhere to that. And it stopped me from getting cut in half.
But I feel like that's just hazard perception.
Yeah,
you were just aware of the potential risks.
But he linked it with wind.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe the wind is on my side.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I found out the wind's not.
Omen.
But so you would pair that with superstition. I would feel like that's more like you're aware of a dangerous situation. You've taken an action.
But it wasn't
to save
the
yourself.
danger that made me do it. It was the fact that
it was the second wind gust.
Rustling like crazy, as if to make a point, to like
you were like,
scream at me.
It's whistling in the wind, and that's telling you, hey, something shit's going to happen if you don't just take an action.
Yeah.
And
so I took the action.
But then part of me feels like it was just your intuition.
Yeah, it could have been.
I think it was just intuition, the fact that shit, I've foreseen that something shit could happen here.
Yeah,
like, Final Destination level.
The wind told him.
No, the wind told me though, Ross. All these things are true, but also the wind.
But has the wind spoken to you since?
No.
Okay.
And if anything, it really, like, you know.
Or have you just dismissed the wind?
The wind pisses me off quite a lot. God, when you're trying to put up tents in the wind, God, it's fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a friend of the wind anymore. Me and the wind have
gone separate ways.
What about when it's drying your clothes?
I helped you once, mate.
Probably doesn't often.
I don't have an airing line, do I? I had to run a Dyson. I used the Dyson to dry my clothes.
So you say you're not...
Wait, sorry, not a Hoover, not a Hoover,
the fan. The fucking fan.
You just blow a fan on it. Oh, okay.
It helps. It dries them off a lot quicker. Stops them getting Fausty.
Well, yeah, Fausty.
Let me go through some superstitions, and then we'll see if you
is wind superstition in there?
It's not in there, but beginner's luck is, and I think there'll be multiple times where we've done something new, and you've called beginner's luck on it.
Well, okay, it's just a saying though, isn't it? Do you believe that it's a...
What?
Because I've done shit at things. Well, I've done shit at a lot of things I'm experienced at. I'm still dog shit, but
Wait, so what's gone? Hit us. What
That's
we got?
it.
Luke is the
What?
same. Beginner's luck.
Beginner's
It's
luck?
a superstition of like the fact that like you believe that
You get
someone who's just
a
begun
level of
something.
luck when you first start a new thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I think it's more that when you succeed at something as a complete novice, it's fucking surprising. Because things that require talent or skill or practice.
Why do we call it though? Why do we call it beginner's luck? Because we have called it that in the past. Is it just you're encapsulating that idea of we surprised we won
What
into a
is luck?
saying?
It's become a saying, though, isn't it? Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, he's got beginner's luck. He's only just begun the game, and now you're shit. So
I
it's
think
just like,
I think saying something is lucky
It doesn't work every time,
is
does it?
bowing down to the basic understanding that we all have that there are very few things in our control, right? I think that's what it is. When you say beginner's luck, you're like, fuck, there's so many variables, there's so much chaos. Like, you know, they are in their most chaotic form when a person is new to something,
Yeah.
right? And so anything, they could accidentally hit it the right way. But even so, as you're gradually learning, you pick up biases or bad habits whilst performing an action that then have to be trained out of you to make you fully functional. So in a way, perhaps a person that's new to something rather than completely fresh is perhaps in a worse situation than one who comes to it with an open mind, you know? So I think that's partly where it comes from,
yeah,
is how I would argue it.
I agree. It's just like, bless you.
My sneezes tell me of like ill omens. So something
You smell
bad's-
bullshit.
Something bad's happening.
Oh, sorry.
Find a penny, pick it up all day long. You have good luck.
That is irrefutable, isn't it? Totally irrefutable.
I don't know how you. Yeah.
Have
I
you
walk
ever-
around with it like a totem.
Have you ever
I hang it in front of me when I walk across busy roads.
Have you ever-
Penny, mate!
But how often have you seen a
Good
penny
luck.
on the floor and just ignored it?
Oh, all the
I've-
time.
a couple.
I
of
feel like
times.
Bill Gates every time I do it.
I feel like it looks worse if you try and pick it up.
Oh, not worth my
It's like,
time.
well, like I'm not gonna.
You did it as a kid,
somebody
though, right?
worthy,
Yeah.
but
You
somebody
picked up
somebody
pennies as a
who
kid.
really
Oh,
wants that penny
definitely.
will get that penny.
But that's what I kind of think about it as well. I'm like, oh, a kid would find that and be really fucking jacked. I don't need 5p.
If it was £1 though,
Yeah, probably.
I saw a
You pick it up?
£10 note on the floor the other day.
Oh, you
Did
didn't
you
pick
leave
it
it?
up.
I did pick it up.
Did
I
you give
think
it
that's
someone?
good.
I gave it back to the owner.
Oh,
you
well,
saw-
well, you saw it fall out of somebody's pocket then, did you?
Well,
How
it
did you
was.
know?
Oh, shit, I just kicked this
I
down real well.
I paired it together with a person that was rushing across the road.
Yeah.
And then there was a
Oh.
polymer just on the floor,
Yeah.
and I picked it up and I went
that's-
into the building that they were going in. It was annoying because like it's one of those knock to get in kind of ones.
Oh.
shit.
So I was like, "Hey, is this yours?" I was like, "Oh, thank you so much."
Oh, that's good.
So
But yeah, if you saw it, I guess if you see,
I could have had 10 days good luck.
well,
No,
10.
100 days.
Well, if you give it-
Yeah. I
Isn't
feel
there
like-
another part of the rhyme where it's like something, give it back, da 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 da.
Don't take crack.
Don't crank.
Finders keepers, losers weepers.
Yeah.
I think
there is that.
the
But then it depends. If you saw the person that literally dropped it, then that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Like if you just saw a 10 and no one was around, you'd be like, well, yeah, I'm going to pop that in my pocket. And then obviously you might feel generous if you see a homeless guy take some money.
Yeah. I think
Would
that,
you do
that most people what?
So you've just picked up the £10 note.
Yep.
You see a homeless guy, you're going to... Or would you just give him a £5? Give him
I
ask for
think
change?
That'd be a hard one. I think so.
Would you ask for
I
change?
think that'd be a nice thing to do.
Because it's like, well, I don't need it as much as somebody else. And obviously I've seen it,
The other
but...
problem is, and I
What
I'm-
are you going to say?
I probably am going to sound a bit like a prick saying this. I really don't
You
want
want to say...
Like
What are you going to say?
Like, so many homeless people have addiction issues.
Yeah.
And
Do you know what?
that money is just going into funding it. I don't know whether or not that shouldn't fucking matter. And like, if
But
I
what-
was
what-
homeless, maybe I'd, do a bit of H. So
think
like, I
that-
don't know whether that matters. But the other
£10
thing is,
isn't,
it's like,
£10 is not going to change their lives.
I
It's
had
not gonna change
a
it,
homeless
but-
guy.
but it might
Like,
make
a
that
decent
day a bit
high
better.
might be a little...
Yeah, I know exactly.
I had a homeless
Or a
guy.
nice meal.
But they are kind of antisocial in Broadmead. All I'm saying. Yeah, go
Well,
on.
this guy that like came up to me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know the ones that drift alongside you and then, oh, where are you going? What's happening? Like they
I
walk
hate
along,
that shit.
walk along with you. This
Yeah.
guy was like really well spoken,
Yeah.
like super well spoken, and he
Mhm.
was talking about how he's trying to gather money
Yeah.
For a bus
together.
Or the
No,
group?
no, none of that.
Ah.
This is where it was like a bit more interesting. He was basically trying to collate enough money to get a group of people. He's getting a group of homeless people together,
Mm.
all across different towns and villages and stuff and cities, to fund a pool together so they can all get a hostel,
Okay.
right? And establish themselves as more of a permanent residence, so they can like keep having it, so that they can like wash and clean and actually try and get jobs. And I was like, okay, interesting. And he followed me the whole way to an ATM. And
Ooh, that's the worrying part, yeah.
no, this was like,
I know, but
if
anyone
you're
following you to an
interested-
ATM is always a bit of a...
but
Watch out.
well, yeah, but he was quite reasonable. And yeah, I gave him some money because of that, because I feel like he put so much effort into. If it was a story.
No, that's the story. I've heard that one.
He was
before,
very like.
Sometimes it's true. I don't know. I don't see him afterwards to see if he's followed through with whatever he says.
I'm too much of a cynic to believe it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that there's no necessary harm in what you're doing, but I also think that there's going to need to be a lot of control on that individual's behalf to make sure they're not pressuring people. Like with you, say for example, he said, look, I was talking to him politely, carefully, trying to explain it. There was no threat. You felt completely in control. You were comfortable. That's fine. If they also go, and if a person said, please leave me alone, I would instantly leave them alone. That's probably fine too. Much like, a charity worker or something like that, who's like trying to get you to say something. You're like, sorry, I don't have anything. If they go, okay, no worries. But like, what I worry about is people in more vulnerable situations than yourself who may feel may feel like they don't have the ability to say no, and that's where I feel interactions like that are fundamentally not okay, personally.
Well, that's based on assumption though, right? Because you've not seen that happen. You've only had it with you, where you feel like you are in control.
Yeah.
And you're assuming that person would then go on to potentially go to someone that is more vulnerable, but you've not witnessed it.
I know, I'm doing that thing of like, well, of course I don't mind, them doing that, but like, what about, you're creating a victim to prove your point. Absolutely. But I think my logic is okay there. I think you're right. There is a risk of like creating a victim to prove a point, like 100%. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Although
I just buy him a cup of tea. I bought this guy a cup of tea. No,
yeah, I'm sorry, go on. Here comes.
There was a guy I knew before, only because he was walking a dog before, and I kept meeting him around. Then whatever happened, he ended up homeless. I'm pretty sure he was homeless before.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just that awkward thing of like, oh shit, I've had conversation with you before, and but he doesn't look good now. But yeah, if I see him and he doesn't have a drink, and there's a little shop just around the corner, just grab him a cup of tea. But I'd rather do that than just like throw money at someone. And I feel like that's like, because it's like at least you got
really has
warm
money
drink
anyway,
and I don't have money. I normally just use my phone, so I don't even go out with a wallet anymore.
Yeah,
so this is interesting. This is what I was going to say to you, because somebody else said that in the chat as well. They were like, I'd rather buy them some food, which I think, or a drink, which I totally agree with.
Which I think sometimes they'll just be like, oh yeah, a roll would be nice, something just to
But when I was walking into coffee number 1 in near Primark the other day, outside a person asked me for some money, and I said, I don't have any cash, because I didn't. Like you say, I physically don't have any cash, but then I said, if you want a sandwich or something, 100% I'll grab you. And they said, oh no, I'm okay, thanks. Somebody's already getting me a sandwich.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I think, but what that shows is, and I don't want to presume, but I don't think homeless people are dying because they're starving or
they're just outside all the time. Exposure.
But also it's more systemic. It's deeper than that, right?
Yeah.
And yes, it's nice as an individual to another individual saying like, would you like something to eat? But like that again is not really going to fix anything. It's going to make that person's, like, the reason that person is on the street is not because they're hungry. It's something much more complicated than that. And so again, playing the cynic here, you've got to wonder, like, again, is that just a salve? Is that any different from giving them money? Is it any different from giving them a joint? And are any of those things wrong or right? I don't know either. But I think it's important to bear that in mind. Is like, you can stuff a guy full of Greg sandwiches, but like you can't make him not addicted to heroin through.
Of course, but like, each situation is different. And obviously the guy I was speaking to has actually got a job lined up. So, but it's just like, he's like, yeah, but I don't get paid for another month. So it's just like, still, how do you get out of that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to get out of it by just getting a quid here and there.
Trap.
And obviously like, so you just try and get him something nice, like a cup of tea or a little baggie of heroin.
Yeah. A little bit of each.
Why not both sometimes?
In the tea.
That'd be such a nice afternoon, wouldn't it?
Just lace
nice
cup of tea and some H. I'll sort you out, mate.
Dreamy. But yeah, sorry, that's a bit heavy, but interesting, I think.
So, if a homeless person sidles up to you and you're on a narrow walkway, right? And then he's on the roadside, but there's a fucking ladder up ahead. Holy shit. And he's actually pushing you under that ladder.
Yeah, we should go back to the superstitions.
Do you avoid that ladder? Or do you
give me some H before I go under the ladder? I'm like, mate,
is there any form of like hesitancy going under a ladder?
Yes, because
from
it's
a
not
superstitious
safe to do.
level.
Not from a superstitious point. Yes, because don't walk under a fucking ladder because they can slip out. Like,
Yeah, but something else could happen.
If there's nobody on that ladder, I don't feel so bad about it. But if there's somebody on the ladder, then yeah, I'll probably give it a bit of a
What if you created a cataclysmic butterfly effect by walking under that ladder instead of throwing the homeless guy in the road?
this morning.
Through the cause and effect of life.
That's only through ladders. I think ladders are the ones that have the power,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So,
Ladders have the power here, not the people.
yeah.
I mean, I'd happily...
They're
walk under many-
portals.
What? Give me another example.
Black cats crossing your path.
No, I don't give a fuck.
Do you think
Quite
that's a
like black
glitch?
cats.
That doesn't mean anything to me if that happens.
Nothing at all.
Only because like you see cats all over the place.
And it's sad that there are actually higher numbers of black cats in cattery hostels, whatever you want to call them.
Is it because of superstition?
Because apparently
No
of superstition,
way.
people wanting to give... Bizarre, right?
That's bizarre.
That's really strange. Like, don't get a cat, man, if that matters. You know?
Well,
like,
yeah. If that's what's all that's important. Then.
Yeah.
Rabbits' feet are still a thing to some people,
isn't
aren't they?
Is that not like
Fending off evil.
Is that some sort of
It's like a token,
witch thing or
a
like
talisman.
old school
Yeah, it's like pagan.
pagan? That's what I
Well,
want.
well apparently it blends Native American, European, and African traditions. I think a lot.
Right.
And in the UK, it might be early Celtic tribes that did that.
I'm not going to wear a rabbit's foot.
I mean, they're fucking everywhere as well. Like, you know,
That's
like,
what they do.
Like, it does.
Rabbit.
Maybe if it was like a narwhal's horn or something, I'd be a lot more believable. But like, this is just a rabbit's foot. Like, if you want, guys,
How do you
we
measure?
could go and get a load of rabbit's foots off of real rabbits. Like, we could get loads in a day.
Because I think the real challenge would be to measure such a thing. Like, I guess, yeah. What would we do?
I don't think it's measurable.
Each of us
Ross.
have.
I don't think it's based on a
luck.
scientific method.
No, luck. That's what I mean. Like, how do you measure
can't
luck? You
divide
can't
your life up.
Yeah.
And then, okay, I'm going to go a day without rabbit foot and day with and do the exact same
What you would have to
thing.
do is line up a series of things that you could either do well at or do shit at, right? Wear it. Each of us wear one.
Yeah.
We do each of these tasks
We
simultaneously.
break every superstition.
And then we try and figure out if there's a luck balance to what we just did or whether it's a skill issue. It shouldn't be skill based. It should be either like a simple task, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would give you good luck or what would be considered a lucky
I guess
thing
it's
to
like,
have happened to you.
you're
Like,
talking about like.
I just went to the bookies and put all on red, and so
Yeah,
did I.
gamble.
But I lost it. So that was
Let's all gamble with rabbit's
my
feet.
rabbit's foot was bollocks. Did shit all.
The reason.
Let's go gambling and
This
have
is so-
all the lucky
Right.
things ever and see if it works.
You understand this, right? I mean, like, just by trying to pose this argument, you realize how ridiculous everything is.
Yes.
It's complete. Something that is unmeasurable
Yes.
is basically irrelevant. You know, like,
Yeah,
like
but some people can.
it's-
But some people will have that in the back of their mind of like, "Ooh, I've heard it's bad luck to do this, so I'll avoid that because it doesn't hurt you not to do it."
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, oh, don't walk over 3 drains, so, or cross your fingers over a certain.
Well, that's just
touch wood.
It's like touch
that's just
wood.
Pavlovian
Yeah.
conditioning. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same way you do something a certain way for reasons. You
But like,
think-
you might subconsciously walk over those drains without thinking and be like, nothing bad happens because you don't even think about
yes,
it.
because it's
But
not
if you-
real.
Well, yeah, but it's in the back of your mind. You might think, oh shit, it doesn't hurt me to just walk here, and then you would just be like, well, either way. So people in the back of people's minds are thinking, oh, I'd rather not have bad luck, even though I don't know whether that exists or not.
I think superstition comes from
If they had to go out of their
some
way-
element of realness in
Yeah.
that, like, you avoid drains because they're slippery.
Yeah.
You know, you might turn an ankle. or
What the
something like
fuck?
that. Like,
What sort of power do magpies have, though? Because there's a whole,
Shit.
like, up to 7 of them, I think, have all different powers.
yeah.
One for girl, one for boy,
Now I've got an interesting, not that.
one for
interesting
sorrow,
theory.
2 for joy.
It's because magpies are so fucking clever. People looked at magpies when they were more superstitious, when we were culturally more superstitious, and they went, these fucking birds are up to something. Because they were up to something. Because they're really, really smart.
They're conniving and they remember faces.
Yeah, they're clever as fuck. And I
Are they
think that's
really?
it. People recognise that and they accounted it to
And they prey on the superstitious ones. That
Yeah, they're like,
they can
"Oh,
see
I got
them
a mark."
counting.
Yeah.
Which I used to do as a kid
Yeah.
on the way to like primary school
Yeah.
because we used to have like flocks of magpies
Yeah.
between
What's the
my
magpie thing?
1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for girl, 4 for boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told.
Don't tell him!
It's a secret.
Then all the magpies come and get you. They enforce
Is
it.
it if you see 7 magpies? Like, there's how many
They have
you
to be
see?
in a flock
Right.
that where you witness. So if
Yeah.
you on a day you see 2 magpies, okay, 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. Thank God,
Okay,
it's a
nice.
joyful day.
Okay.
That's what I used to do.
Is this like the
Yeah.
Bones fucking thing recently? Like a dog died, didn't it? Bones Day.
Yeah,
Remember the Bones Day
on
thing?
Because
no
it was
Bones Day.
an old and very unhealthy breed, right? Is it a
Yeah.
pug?
Yeah.
It was a pug. But
Lovely little
I
creatures.
think that's more of a
doomed.
I need an excuse to be motivated today or to have a lazy day, and
Yeah.
people put that responsibility on a dog.
Yep.
Basically.
It's also a bit like when people look for meaning in star signs. It's just like you're looking for meaning because I think it's a symptom of a feeling of well, I mean, of course I think we all have to grapple with how little control we have over our lives a lot, you know, and that has different outcomes. And I think superstition and star signs is one of those things. You're like, I don't know, what's going to happen to me this week? You know, like, oh, you might meet a lover, and you're like, oh, I'd like a lover. That sounds nice. Or like,
well, the statements are sometimes quite generalized, which makes it kind of like, oh, I can see how that could fit into my life or make that work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mystic Meg in it, as it's known.
She's dead.
She actually gone.
Mystic Meg
Did she
has
predict
passed.
it?
I don't know if she predicted
I don't know.
it.
You think that she should have done, considering she was spent most of her life predicting the lottery numbers. Never got them right there.
That's why.
Was that what she was doing?
What?
Mystic Meg predicting lottery
mostly
numbers?
like-
Yeah, no, winners. She would say stuff like, they'll have a car.
Oh, so she would
Or
say
one
generic
nearby.
things.
Yeah,
They'd be like, oh,
exactly.
yes, you live near many other buildings, much like yours, on a road that's
It's on a street,
suburban.
not unlike this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be so loosey-goosey, it's just like,
But this is why,
Okay.
and going back to the doctors thing again,
yeah, we shouldn't believe them.
this is why
Wait,
you should
no, is
keep
this the doctor?
terminal illness secret until the last day, because then you can really fuck people up by going like, today is the day I die.
Sometimes you can't.
You can't predict that.
Sometimes you can't
predict the
hold it
day.
in until the last day and be fully
if you
functioning
can.
and healthy.
Babe, you can.
I'm fine achieving by doing that.
You fuck with people, you're like, today's the day.
Yeah. If you were terminally ill, I feel like there would be a gradual decline to that day.
He would.
You
It's
should-
just
I feel
a
like
joke.
he looks like he's
Yes,
gonna fuck.
yes,
I know.
of
yeah.
course,
Well,
of
imagine-
He
course.
feels like he's gonna fucking die. But today's the day. It's
But
gonna
yeah,
happen.
Imagine if you could be fully healthy until the last day and then,
Yeah.
I forgot my rabbit's foot today.
Yeah,
and then you wink and walk off.
Exactly. This is what I'm getting at.
Just
what I'm
stroll
getting
into
at.
a nearby river.
And then everyone's like, wow, I hope that was worth it. And they're like,
And everyone's going to be buying rabbit's feet.
yeah.
And the word's
You
going to
invest
spread.
heavily your family's fortune in rabbit's feet, and then you prove it on your last
That's
day.
essentially like giving money to the generations below you, really. You're setting up an investment there.
Yeah.
You're saying,
Wait.
So essentially, it is. What are you saying?
What is it? What are you doing?
I'm
What revelation
saying
have you got here?
you give them the superstition of rabbit's feet, right?
Right.
Before you die.
Yeah.
They could then start, you leave a note.
Investing in rabbit's feet. Yeah, that's
Start up a rabbit's foot business.
Yeah.
You're
Oh.
giving them something. It's nice.
Yeah. It is nice. A rabbit's foot business.
You
Who
can
wouldn't
leave
want to be in the
rabbits
rabbit's
alone.
feet game?
I don't want to.
All you need to do is farm rabbits and cut their feet off. And bad news, that's not actually fatal. So you've got all these little stubby-toed rabbits running around your garden
they-
now.
You
Kill them
you aim to
for
get
meat
all
anyway.
4 feet off one rabbit, so that's like 4 for 1.
It's like, this is like a KFC chicken.
Yeah. Then they're stilting it for the rest of the
Does it
way.
have to have the fur on?
Put wheels
Yeah.
on it, make
Fur
them
on.
wheelers. Like
I've seen a rabbit's
Oz.
foot as like a
Nice.
talisman before.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
Yeah.
Pretty horrible.
Yeah,
Just a little foot.
Little grim
horrible,
little foot.
'cause you're like,
of an animal that
That poor
bounced
rabbit.
around. Yeah.
That's an unlucky rabbit.
It also
Really?
hoof. I got a lot of hoofs at home. That Murphy chewed.
Oh, yeah, because he eats.
And I feel like I can rebuild a cow with the amount of.
Oh my
Maybe
god.
you should do an art attack.
That's all
This
just
is an ass attack. This is me rebuilding a cow with hooves.
That's like trying to make a human out of
exactly.
fingernails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can
they,
do it.
They,
We've got the
shouldn't eat.
technology.
They shouldn't eat that.
Danny Dyer's
Murphy Thomas
fingernail
does.
homunculus.
Yeah. It's pretty gross though. You can just clop around on them if you want to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
do that sometimes?
Always.
You dress up?
Yeah.
Like that guy that danced to that Goodbye Horses
Yeah.
thing.
I put them on Murphy's feet so you can clop around.
So you can hear him coming.
And it's like, oh, you're like a baby cow.
Oh, he hates the hardwood floors
Then
now.
I cover him in blood and red meat, and it's really, really fun.
He's loving it.
You
though.
better come round.
He's
It's
just
really
like
good. He
constantly
is-
eating. He's like,
Wow.
this is great.
Really gross. Anyway, what about mirrors?
Mirrors.
Yes, mirrors. Smashing a mirror is known to give you
7 years.
in
Specifically
this.
bad luck.
7 years about it. 7. That's a long time. If you were that superstitious, that'd be fucking dumb. I mean,
I reckon it puts you in a state of mind for 7 years of like, holy shit.
I wouldn't think about it again. You'd think that every bad, like,
No,
you'd go, oh, I broke a
someone that-
mirror a couple of years ago.
That's the thing. Like someone that's
Fuck.
heavily superstitious and believes mirrors
Yeah.
can cause you that. I think there's like a placebo effect of like that sort of thing, right? Where it's like, I know I'm unlucky for 7 years.
Yeah.
And
of
like,
course. Yeah,
you're going to like
yeah.
magnify everything that goes wrong in your life.
Yep.
Eventually, you'd forget between that 7-year period. There's a point you'd forget, unless
Not if
something
you're
drastic
really
happened. You're like, oh, that
superstitious.
must have been.
It's
a
just
bloody
vehicles
mirror
for
in
mental health.
2007.
You've blackened your calendar for 7 years.
I reckon it's something to do with the fact that when they used to make mirrors, they used to make them using, I think it's like silver nitrate or something like that, which is really toxic.
Mercury, wasn't it?
It's like super toxic.
Maybe I'll think of something else.
Smash it and they die.
They smash it, and that's how long it takes to metabolize all the goddamn toxins out of your body. 7 years.
Well, here's the explanation here. It says the superstition arises from the belief that mirrors don't just reflect your image, they hold bits of your soul. Bits.
Oh. Bits.
That belief led people in the old days of the American South to cover mirrors in a house when someone died, lest their souls be trapped inside. So, like the number 3, the number 7 is often associated with luck. 7 years is a long time to be unlucky.
7 is the lucky number, isn't it?
Which may be why people have come up with countermeasures to free themselves after breaking a mirror. You can free yourself, guys. These include touching a piece of the broken mirror to a tombstone or grinding the mirror shards into powder. Imagine. Grab it. Oh, God, I fucking broke the mirror.
Go
take this fucking
graveyard.
Thing. Right, quickly,
the mirror.
Yeah, start grinding it. Get a fucking pestle, more pestle. Start grinding it down, bit by bit.
How many superstitious things I've been involved in? So, wishbone wishes.
Yeah,
this used to happen.
Wishbones. Yeah, with the little finger.
Yeah,
right on the turkey.
This used to happen in the family every Christmas.
Yeah.
They used to leave out the wishbone.
Do you remember anything you wished for?
I remember wishing to become a vet the year after.
I can't picture in a war scenario.
Well, I was wishing for it, so
Joined up.
I don't know. Sorry. Just I really want this. Probably an Action Man for Christmas.
Like Wii U. Yeah.
I want to open a Wii U before.
I want a Game Boy magnifier and light combo.
Yeah. I want great weather for this summer.
And you got most of those things, right?
Yeah. So they work.
They work.
Next thing, cross your fingers.
The crossing the fingers, okay.
People do this as like a instinctive thing, right?
That's true. That's kind of like almost like a thumbs up in a way, isn't it? It's like, look,
ooh,
I'm physically
good luck.
showing you, that I'm trying to
everything crossed
something.
For you.
Everything crossed. My testicles are crossed for you guys. Help.
No, you
help me.
It's not crossed for us.
They've tangled up like a yo-yo, like 2 yo-yos. Help.
What about Friday the 13th?
Fuck that.
No, there's so many of them. Why does it matter? Also, the calendar was established not very long ago at all. So two weeks ago.
It kind of lines up though.
Right.
Plays devil's advocate.
Yep.
From another standpoint.
Yep.
It's a part of the year where apparently the veils of
that's All Hallows Eve.
Planes of existence overlap. Yeah,
is that what Friday the 13th is?
It's the October spooky.
But there's not always a Friday the 13th in October, is there?
It's no. Well, yeah.
I thought Halloween was
it's like
what you're describing. Halloween itself.
Yeah, but I am talking more about that. Not specifically Friday the 13th, but apparently it's where the plane of the dead and the living and their two dimensions at their most closeness. I
don't know whether it's anything to do with the dead or the living, but if in the future we discover that we are in fact part of a many-dimension universe, I can believe that there may be times or places that those things might be closer together. Whether or not that has any bearing on Halloween or the dead, I don't know. But I feel like what did I watch the other day?
There was something about that where there could be a whole discovery of universes and how other universes are essentially almost like neighboring us in a different dimension, but we are completely oblivious to it passing through us,
and we can't really apparently even ever perceive them
because we live essentially like we're on a piece of paper to someone that's looking at a piece of paper. We only ever exist in that piece of paper. We can't get out of that piece of paper. Help. I'm in a piece of paper.
Chris Trott's in a piece of paper.
I need to get out.
Wake up. Pull the cable out the back of your head now. Do it with me. That's why Inception was so dangerous.
It's there. You just got to grab it.
Leo's wipe in Inception was a warning.
Either way, all of these superstitions, right?
Yeah.
In this hypothetical, are real now. Which ones do we avoid?
Of course. So it is real.
I'm staying inside.
So we've listed all these throwing salt over your shoulder. That's a good omen. Apparently, why is it? It depends off.
The only superstitions I believe are the ones I've seen in the TV show Supernatural.
Right. Okay. And which ones are you believing in then?
A lot of salt use.
A lot of salt use. It will keep the ghosts out. Wishbones, I'll be doing them all the time because I could wish for anything.
I'll be avoiding the cracks.
Avoid all the cracks.
What cracks?
Scott's just got a big old backpack full of wishbones. Also, whenever somebody comes to, I wish you were dead. Wish you were dead. Wish you were dead.
And what parameters are we working with? Because obviously, if I've got shoes on, technically I'm not stepping on that crack. My but bare naked foot hasn't touched anything.
I say you
So
remove
how-
all potential cracks in like a wide area around you. So like all your flooring
What
needs to
about
be like
a
solid.
bricked road? That's like everything's a crack then.
Yeah,
That's
never go
fucking
out.
crazy.
Don't
Never
go out.
leave the house.
Don't go
Never
out. Don't
leave
take
the
an
house.
umbrella inside.
There's a crack between like two pieces of vinyl wood. Is that a crack?
Oh God! Don't
Yeah,
tell me you've
That's a crack.
not been paying attention to those.
You not be walking
Fuck, I
in
need to
between
call my
the
mum.
slats.
I need to call a lawyer.
Mum, is your back fucked? I just walked down the corridor and I stepped on almost every crack.
What's it like?
What's
are
it
you
like?
Are you like a millipede now?
I don't think she better speak. if
That's
the
actually
case.
given me a fun idea for a D&D character.
Yeah.
A chicken farmer that has the power of wishbones, and he has to go. It's almost like his spell slots. He's got a bag full of harvested chicken
It's his
wishbones.
component pouches.
Yeah,
full
and
of
then once he
wishbones.
uses up all his wishbones, he has to go back to his farm up for some more chickens, and go out on another adventure.
He needs his stock of wishbones.
Magical fucking
A
wishbone.
lot of chickens have to die for that power.
A lot, and that's what's kind of crazy about it. It's like every time he uses power, it's got a real cost.
Also, he's not. I reckon your character should be a vegan.
Yeah.
Doesn't even eat the meat.
I don't eat chicken. No, I just I throw it at people.
I love
And
to
you're a
smell
vegan.
It. I'll just smell it and then just toss it.
I
Smell
like
and
to warm
toss.
it up. Yeah, chicken shaman. Yeah.
Do you think we've done superstition thoroughly now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like like it's gonna be. I mean, you
We're
would
all
ju- if it's all
skeptics.
true, then yeah, I would panic if I saw a black
It'd be
cat,
terrifying.
and I would be crossing my fingers at every opportunity so that I wasn't fucked, or
Yeah.
my mum's back wasn't just.
It'd be so
completely
much
done
to
in
like
from me walking
cater
down the road.
to.
You got to watch out. I mean, just be generally aware of your environment, I think, is what we started
Constantly.
with when I told you about
As in, that's why
the rope
these
story,
things are-
and the same with like
yeah.
drains and ladders.
So
Like,
it's
there
like a.
I'd be a culling of black cats.
oh, huge.
And also, the rabbit population will be
Population.
decimated from
Dwindled.
everyone.
I mean, if
wanting
we somehow
desperately-
engineer a war between the rabbits and the black cats, that's going to yield the most. Like, think
I
like
think
the
cats would do
CIA
alright.
in South America, right? Like, you got to try and make them do the work for you.
right.
You just go onto the battlefield of bloodied rabbits and pick up all the feet.
Oh no, the rabbits have been smuggling cocaine and the black cats have been supplying guns to them for it. No, no, they're going to have a huge civil
Oh,
war.
look, this has got a gun on it.
Oh, El Capitan, the leader of the cat drug cartel. It's nuts.
This seems like you're trying to allude to something else other than superstition.
I'm trying to draw parallels between the war on drugs and a war between black cats and rabbits that would yield less black cats and lots of feet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't see that. No.
No, yeah,
You
yeah.
heard of chewing gum at night as being one? That's apparently in
Well,
Turkey.
just
That's
choking.
choking hazard.
Yeah.
It's thought that after dark, chewing gum is magically transformed like the Mogwai in the movie Gremlins,
For
who turned into
fuck's
the
sake, who
titular
made that
monsters if they eat after midnight
That's
into
dumb.
the flesh of the dead. So chewing gum is magically transformed into the flesh of the dead at night.
Someone made
That's
that
what I
up
think
for a
it's
horror story and it got out of hand.
Yeah.
That just sounds like someone choked and died chewing gum. What happened before that? Did they not exist as a thing?
See, it's absurd. Unless it's just a public kind of service announcement of just like stop chewing gum because you keep spitting out on the
Look,
fucking
if it-
floor.
I mean, chewing gum is fun, but it isn't necessary, is it? Like, it really is like, it's almost like the disposable vape of our generation, chewing gum.
A habit.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like chewing
Because,
gum.
like, it doesn't actually
It's just
really do much
tastes
for
nice
you.
and
Tastes
people enjoy.
nice, it's enjoyable to do. But, like, ultimately, you don't get sustenance from chewing gum. And then when it's disposed of, it usually ends up stuck to a pavement or a floor or somewhere that then we have to pay taxes to remove.
Yeah. Power washing.
It's nuts.
Do they even?
No, they don't do anything anymore.
You can't get that shit out of the concrete.
Council tax keeps going up, and things keep getting worse.
Yeah.
It is a good appetite
That's true.
suppressor.
And how do
Chewing
we avoid
gum.
that? What kind of
Is it? I thought chewing gum promoted the production of. That's why you can get stomach ulcers if you chew too much,
Yeah.
because like
You're just swallowing.
it makes your body ready to eat, but then doesn't actually give you any food.
Oh shit. Well, there you go.
Huh.
What's our next
Okay, the
hypothetical?
next one. Let's have a look.
All right, yeah, this one. Yeah.
This one's from Trash X. And they've
Yeah.
said, would you rather the whole world knows you as the baby killer, no repercussions in terms of prison time or anything, or you have to live with having actually killed a baby? So no one thinks you're a baby killer, but you've killed a baby. or people think you killed a baby and you are known,
Everyone
even though
knows
you haven't done it.
You haven't done it, but everyone
They
knows.
think you've done it.
They think that you're a baby killer, but you're free apparently. But if
I'd wear my baby killer badge with pride.
I think that if I've not done the time, surely I didn't do the crime, or is it just like
rhyme.
you know, I mean Michael Jackson wasn't convicted.
Exactly. You get MJ levels of baby killing
Yeah,
labelled on you.
that's pretty strong. I mean,
Not that you kill
but I'd
babies.
also
But you don't have
again
to
I'd
kill a
still
baby.
rather not have.
Yeah.
I think living with the guilt of killing a baby is actually worse.
You didn't deprive one individual. You have to wear it like a millstone around your neck that everyone thinks you're a bad guy, but you're not.
How do you redeem yourself? And did you feel like you would kind of like be a more positive member
Just
of
wear
society and kind of be like,
t-shirts.
look, I didn't kill that baby t-shirts, which would be on sale now.
Well, no one would believe that.
Yeah, well, if you got it on a t-shirt.
I think you just put "I'm sorry."
Well, that makes it sound like you are apologising for the crime you did.
You're not going to convince anyone, are you? Really?
Mine would just say
thinks-
which baby? Question mark.
Yeah. Ross wants
Oh.
to kill the baby and tell everyone about it.
Baby where?
Where?
Dot
I'm
org.
baby ready
I'm baby ready.
with a gun.
Where's the baby?
Where's the
Question
baby?
mark.
Where is the baby?
You'd be a very lonely life, though, wouldn't it?
Saying which baby?
Not many
Which
people would
baby?
like
Because I
you.
didn't kill that baby.
Would you want to hang out with someone that potentially killed a baby?
Yeah,
But did they, though?
It wouldn't affect whether I'd hang out with them or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, but if you didn't know that person, we were like, oh, one of our old friends from school has come around, but he's a baby killer, man. He killed a baby once.
Killed a baby.
Anyway,
Yeah, but like,
he's
you know-
he's a heavy drinker, so yeah, we'll get the cans in.
Would you
Like-
hang around with an Air Force pilot? They probably bombed kids.
No, I haven't.
It's a bit different from like I imagine if. Okay, so this person's I imagine have killed the baby themselves. Like
Yeah.
they've had to look into a baby's eyes as it dies.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like,
Air
I
Force
wouldn't-
One is they're following orders.
I guess
Like,
it's about
I don't say
analysis
I don't
force.
agree with the fact that they've done it, but it's just like
And also,
it's
I'm
so
not
removed.
judging Air Force pilots, by the way, either.
Yeah,
I'm
it's so
just
far
saying that,
removed
like,
from
you
the
know,
act of
bad intel can happen.
an individual killing a baby, unless they
Yeah.
were just like, well, it was an accident. I didn't realize they was laying on the floor, and I still done them. Like I don't know what the
Yeah.
situation is. It very much depends on context.
This person got
It
a
does.
novelty-sized Timmy mallet
Yeah.
and slammed
They're
a
not even
baby.
hard though. They're soft. That's the problem.
Yeah, but
with
if you
Timmy
get a
got a hard
proper one,
This one got
no, I mean, I'd say you just
a masonry hammer, some sort of like giant fucking hammer.
a hammer at
JFH.
a fairground. You know the one where you
With GFH,
you
sorry.
hit really hard to ding the bell.
Huh?
One of those. A sledgehammer.
I mean, okay, if it's affecting their personality, like in a way that
They
makes
killed a
them-
baby.
What if he comes in the room and goes, "Where's the baby at? Get out."
I'd be like, there's no
Get
babies
out.
in here. I don't know. I think you just got to give people a fair shake. They might have had a reason.
Don't give people a fair shake. That's what got him into the problem in the first place. No, that's
You-
God, Jesus.
Are you just being devil's advocate, or do you genuinely believe
I feel
that
like
you could
I
get along
think-
with a baby killer?
I think the most virtuous and most the best way to live is to try and work out a way that you can understand how all things have caused a person to act in the way they have, right? Like, I honestly think that. I mean, obviously, there's emotional elements to these decisions, and if you're like, yeah, this person is so like, I believe that people can be so fucked that they are beyond saving, right? Like, and that's kind of comes up against my whole I don't believe in the death penalty because it can cause lots of innocent death. But I also believe that life can happen to people in such a way that it makes them not compatible with society.
Well,
It's-
technically, you were responsible for it. Let's say it was an
For what?
Uncle Ben situation. He opened the door and let this baby killer in.
well, yeah,
Oh,
no,
He
yeah.
ran upstairs and just took a hammer out.
yeah.
Would you feel guilty? Because you opened. Yeah, come on, mate, right through. It's a locked apartment. Normally, you just fob.
Well, yeah,
He's just
I mean,
like, right this way, sir.
Yeah, of course.
Uncle Ben died because of the same actions.
Did he? So he
I
left
think
the door
so.
open and
Something like
Uncle
that.
Ben
I can't remember what was
Also,
it.
Spider-Man
It was
saw a robbery happening
that was it. Yeah, he
of the
goes.
wrestling place that he was at, and then let it
He was like-
happen. Well, it's not my problem.
Not my problem, bro.
So
until it
you-
was his problem.
You literally,
Bam!
you're holding an elevator,
Yeah.
and a guy holding a baby runs towards the elevator. Is like, call me that elevator, please, please, please. And the person behind is like, that's my baby. Give it back.
Oh, I'd be
He's going to kill that baby.
Yeah, I would make sure nobody leaves in that environment before I work out what the fuck's going on.
This guy that's running at you with
Yeah.
the baby is
Yeah.
like, I'm willing to change. I'm a good guy. Just let me have this one, and then
There's still time for me
I've
to
got
change.
redeemable qualities.
I think what Ross said earlier is that context matters.
Yeah, context is entirely crucial. If you knew that some guy literally was just like maliciously killed a child, you probably, well, I don't want to hang out with that fucker.
It is.
Why is he released?
It is not.
It's your mate.
It is not the best way to be. I don't think, in my personal opinion, it is not the best way to be to
kill babies.
Instantly assume, like, I just feel like people really do.
Just asking if you want to go drinking with this dude. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
What with the baby killer?
I've chosen to not hang out with people for
I don't know him.
Than killing a baby.
I'd rather not hang out with somebody because they were boring. Because like
at least you got someone interested about you, like killing babies.
Not killing babies. Like, again, the context.
Your life has a bit of spice in it, you know.
What I'm saying is, people. It's very, very fucking easy to become a hypocrite when you say when you don't examine the context.
Yeah.
And
of course,
and I think
because it was like a cot death or something. It's like you couldn't say that it was his fault. But
and
again,
so it's much more healthy to investigate and find out the context.
It was a novelty.
So we didn't give him enough
mallet.
information. It was a novelty-sized mallet.
Yeah.
This guy was just like annoyed that he couldn't hear his Call of Duty video game.
Yeah.
And he turned around and just did what he did.
Yeah. The baby.
And now he wants to have a Stella with you. Would you just
couple of tinnies? I'll take the fishing rod down to the. It really does. It's just context.
He wants you to go crabbing.
What I'm saying is, what I was trying to say earlier was that, like, I do agree that sometimes people need to be removed from society in lots of different ways, whatever's expedient at the time. Hopefully it would be, rehabilitation. But if you can't have that, prison. If you can't have that, then who knows? It's about how advanced your society is, whatever like reasonable rehabilitation or punishment they can hand out. And the more advanced your society is, the better, more effective that punishment is. Right? That's kind of how it works. But, if you're in some sort of new colony and you got a baby killing bloke, I'm probably not going to bat an eye at somebody bashing their head in with a rock.
Real good fucking cook,
because
though.
What was the baby or the
guy?
What about him? He was
a
real
good cook, like
What's
the only good cook.
So
I guess we're gonna have to starve. We'll eat him. Like, honestly, this is the thing though. Like, it's whatever luxury of rehabilitation and punishment you can afford. Because if you're living in a place where shit is wild and sometimes you've just got to get rid of people, then.
But what if this scenario is about if you were considered a baby killer? So let's say
I'm trying to defend
went
myself.
upstairs to your flat.
Yeah.
Did what he did. Dead baby. Horrible, terrible stuff.
What if I tell people?
You walk out of the flat. You walk in the flat. Oh my god, dead baby. You walk out. Policeman's there. He's like, whoa.
Am I convincing?
I'm pretty sure. You'll be like, well, I didn't touch the dead baby in my own flat, which no one else has access to normally.
Yeah.
And now you look like a baby killer.
Yeah.
But they don't find any fingerprints or anything on you, so they can't charge you.
Did I do it in this context?
Well, no, you didn't. The guy did it. The other person who you let through the door in the style of Uncle Ben.
I don't feel guilty. I let them in. Well, this is. I mean,
but you didn't realise what he was going to do. But but now you are implicated in it. Everyone thinks you're the baby killer. But did you? And they're like, but why was the baby in his flat?
No, that's not. This is why you have such complicated legal systems as things like looking at diminished responsibility, whether or not you had a duty of care, blah, 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 because these things do happen.
Right.
And a great example of this is the time I accidentally let a homeless guy into my building and he smoked 2 packets of cigarettes in our stairwell.
Really?
And I was like coming down the stairs and I was like, it reeks of cigarettes in here. And then the guy, the concierge at the desk was like, you let somebody in last night. And I was like, did I? And I even talked to the guy.
The thing is, when someone's at the door and they're walking with you and they kind of look like they're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Stop. I don't ID them.
No.
And go, which building are you going to? What room are you going to? I'm not going to start fucking like interviewing a guy who.
I had that done to me.
So that homeless.
So that guy then comes in and he kills a baby. Are you responsible?
I feel like there is a modicum of responsibility. it's more, but like obviously you weren't to know. Why would you know what the responsibility of that person is? And like I said, how often are you going to be? It's not your role to go. Yeah. Which is your flat number, mate? Can I have some ID? It's like, why would I fucking turn around and start agging a guy who might look dangerous? I don't know, or just desperate for a ciggy inside a building.
The issue with your case in particular, and when you let it in, is you were wearing a t-shirt saying, I'll never have kids.
Yeah.
So
I hate kids.
Kind of adds to it, unfortunately.
Shit, the t-shirt I was wearing. Don't tell the police what I was wearing. That's my favourite shirt. It's my I Hate Kids t-shirt.
We should watch the Seinfeld episode about this, apparently.
Oh, really? There's one. What, of letting people into the wrong building or about baby killing?
And then bad stuff happening.
Baby killing.
I can't imagine it's baby killing.
But that's, it's an awkward moment because you don't, you want to trust that they're there for a reason. I feel the same when I follow someone else in. I feel like I want to just be like, no, I almost show my fob, just be like,
I think that's probably.
I feel like it's just like I don't want to look like I'm fucking creeping into a building when I don't know. Maybe that's a British thing. I don't know.
Are we
I
all
apologise
saying-
to her as well. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
I think you're
Take
just
my house.
you're like you kind of right where you're just like, well, it's not really. It's almost not your place.
Well, why would you start interviewing them?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, unless they look really like out of place. Saying that, there was some like people using heroin outside many the other day. I had to walk
Well,
over
don't do
them.
it out here. Do it in here.
Well, no, I didn't say. The thing is, I didn't say a word. I saw needles scattered all over the floor. I didn't say anything. But then he was like, "We're moving on in a second. Don't worry, mate." I was like, I did not want to be involved.
and then he shanked you.
No, he stuck me.
No.
I was like, oh, this is why.
Nice.
This is why.
Wow.
Want to go smoke 60 cigarettes in a stairwell tonight?
Yeah.
Yes,
I know a
please.
place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
that
all
was
saying
awkward. Though. That was
We'd
weird.
rather be labelled a baby killer than actually go through with.
Yes, I think
baby
so.
killing.
I'd rather. Yeah, I don't want to
that
kill a
way
baby.
you-
Why do you want to kill a baby?
Well, you don't.
Whose
That's
baby?
that was the hypothetical.
What if it was baby Hitler?
Well, I would. I think.
Come on, guys.
What if it's like?
But you're never going to know.
Oh, well, if I don't know, then I would.
Unless it's like that picture in
The whole
Back to the Future
motivation
where
is stopping World War
the
II.
Third Reich all starts fading out of the picture. It's
Yeah.
like, I did it. It's done.
What if
Yeah.
it was like a real close friend that is very rational, very scientific,
Yeah.
you've known for a very long time, and they come up to you with baby blood on their hands, and they've said, "I've actually seen the future, and I've come back to stop this tragedy from happening.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've killed a baby that will become."
What? So sorry. That I'm being told that in the modern era.
Wait, so
Or-
You're being told in the present by your friend who seemingly.
I'd be like, this is fucking mad, dude. I'm gonna have to definitely
wouldn't-
get
yeah.
the police involved.
There's no way you could take
Like-
that. You couldn't believe that they.
No.
They just killed a baby.
The person
Yeah.
then smears some of that blood on your hands.
Yeah, and you would go back. You'd go back to the
Nice.
1940s or 1920s or whatever.
No, it's the
Hitler's
future.
baby.
It's
You know,
a future.
I'm saying that if you did this, if
Don't
you did the
change my
Hitler
story.
thing,
No, it's not
Like,
the Hitler thing.
but let's say you
it's a
did.
baby that will go on in the future to
Yeah.
be.
but you'd have
Hitler
to
too.
presume that you're going to get arrested and persecuted in the time that you get rid of Hitler. So I would also presume that the person that does it, even if they're allegedly doing us a favor,
Yeah,
you'd still be like, well, sorry, dude, you can't
can't get away with
You
this.
know, I guess you would say, "Who's Hitler?" If it worked.
That's true. That's a good point.
And so he's just they
That's a really good point.
They were like, "Who's Hitler? What's a Hitler? You just killed a baby, bro.
bro.
You're going to fucking prison for a long time." And I hope you think long and hard about what you fucking did. Who's Hitler?
Yeah.
No, there'd be a different one, right?
Someone grilled me the other day for entering a apartment block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did
I
they
feel like
say?
there's a
What did they
punchline.
ask you?
No,
They were just like, "Oh, are you
They're like-
in the right place?"
show me your credentials.
Really?
Yeah,
They
they're like,
stopped you.
show me your fob. So the
Wow, just like that.
Yeah.
Just like in that direct sense.
yeah, he had a bike on. Fucking
A
cyclist.
bike on.
A bike
helmet.
He had a site.
If they've got a helmet, I feel like there's
pushing his bike into the apartment block.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I mentioned that. I just started to dig on cyclists.
No, because I feel like there's probably a sense of security with a helmet on.
Yeah.
Like, you're more likely
Yeah.
to approach a dangerous situation if you've got some kind of headgear on. Is that
Yeah.
probably right?
Yeah.
Was he wearing spandex?
You profiled.
I feel like I was profiled, yeah.
But it's difficult because some buildings are like, "Oh, we've had several people stealing Amazon packages and stuff," and it's like, well, yeah, you should probably be a bit more
We've
vigilant.
had thousands of pounds of stuff going out. I think that the problem is that individuals like that shouldn't be the ones doing it. It should be people. There should be a community-wide thing that says, "Hey guys, just everyone should identify themselves to each other so we know each other better, and that'll help."
But there's a soft
But
passive.
when you
kind
didn't
of-
have documents, Trot, what happened?
yeah,
I did. I did.
he patted himself
did.
down. Oh fuck!
I didn't actually show it, though.
What did you say?
I just said, oh, yeah,
Bitch, I'm cool.
I'm fine.
Bitch, I'm cool.
Bitch, I'm cool.
It's all right.
What? And he just went. You said it's all right. He said, "Show me your documents," and you said, "It's all right."
No, it's not. Oh, it's fine. I can access this. This is fine.
Right.
Maybe I didn't have access
Sounds like a
to
Jedi
this
kind of-
apartment block.
This is fine.
Like yeah.
Everything's fine.
I was borrowing someone's car park space, all right?
yeah.
And I've been given access to this thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't have, like,
Yeah. of course.
other than, like, the big gate fob
You
thing.
were the guy. You were the intruder.
So he was right to do it.
He was right to do it. Wow. Amazing.
Also,
And
I
they
took
still
a
didn't do
few
anything.
Amazon parcels on the way
They
out.
You got a couple.
They'll never catch me. Yes. This feels
You
heavy.
should have said, "Yeah, no, I'm all right being here. You're using your bike."
Yeah. Yeah. What's that bike
What's
like?
that bike you
looks
got
good,
there?
isn't it? Looks
Yeah.
nice. You fit
I
your
got a
wallet in your...
helmet.
Is that a wallet in your back pocket? Give me your keys and wallet.
Give me your keys.
I actually-
Bad news, buddy.
Ben, just give me your keys, your phone, and wallet, and that bike looks
Otherwise,
nice.
I'm going to hit you to death.
You shouldn't have said anything to me, you fucking
You
prick.
fucking idiot. I wasn't even going to rob you, but now I am, as the lead bar slips from your sleeve.
Yeah.
I was waiting for this day when someone would stop
Nice.
me.
Oh, you're challenging me, are you?
Yeah,
You
good.
need to learn some manners, mate, and I'm going to beat him into you, and then you beat them
Yeah.
to within an inch of death.
But I will survive. And remember,
Yeah.
When you come out of that coma, buddy,
You won't remember my face.
you won't even recognize my face.
I'll come back and
You'll
I'll be
know
like,
what
hey, I was the guy. I'm Hitler. What?
Who's Hitler?
Who's Hitler?
Why do people keep mentioning this guy?
you shouldn't have walked on the cracks today, son. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll pin it on a superstition.
You
Jesus.
piss all over him, did you say?
No, what?
I heard pee on a superstition.
Pin.
Piss
Oh,
decision.
him.
I'd say you shouldn't have walked on the cracks today, son.
Oh, and then
That's what caused
you
him.
make him think that.
That is
you,
the
you gaslight
superstition.
him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope your fingers aren't crossed, mate.
Well, this has been a really wholesome and
It's
I
nice,
think
isn't it?
really good look for all three of us.
Yeah, some of the best
today.
podcasts we have do mention babies being killed.
Yeah.
and we got piss in there too, which is great.
That's, piss in there.
And I honestly think
Damn.
sometimes I just try to explain myself and end up making myself look worse. So maybe I should stop trying to explain myself more.
Just do, and
I'll just let them
Don't explain.
presume I'm a good guy.
it's too late for that.
Exhume.
Presume, not exhume.
You're
What have you been exhuming? You got a mirror to deal with.
I need to exhume some things and crush some
Expel.
mirrors down.
yeah.
Keep breaking mirrors.
well, again, a huge thanks to our patrons
Big
for
up
not
to you,
only
thank you.
supporting us, but
And
also
funding this, and also agreeing with us as
agreeing
well.
with it. I think by voting on these questions, you are also agreeing with our opinions on
Yeah.
said
Do you think
questions.
that's it? That's exactly
how
right.
this works. I'm
You
afraid.
are implicated.
And also thanks for sending in the hypotheticals as well. The easiest way to do that is via our email. I know we're still using the old email,
It's classic.
hatchat@hat-films.com. That will be amongst all the Raid Shadow Legends brand deals. So thank you very much. And again, if you want to be just like Tracksuit Larry, the band, and send us a fingal, that email is also the place to send it.
Thank
Just
you.
put fingal in the subject somewhere so it's easier for me to find. And we'd be more than happy to put this bookended on our episodes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And until next week, keep your fingers crossed, touch some wood, don't go under any ladders, and don't go anywhere on Friday the 13th. For the love of God.
Just stay inside.
Stay inside.
Yeah.
The interdimensional beings will get you. This has really become a crazy podcast. It's funny how we all kind of end up going towards that
It's funny though.
conspiracy nutcase thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think we've mentioned Baby Hitler many times.
Yeah.
But this time, obviously, he got him. And now no one knows who Hitler is. So
No,
there's no
it's true.
justification.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, you're just a baby killer.
Yeah. What?
Anyway.
Who's Hitler?
Who's Hitler?
Anyway.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I don't hate the homeless.
He doesn't hate the homeless.
I hate,
But you don't
hate the
like-
system.
you
I don't
don't
hate
like
the
them.
player, hate the game.
Fear equals
You'd
hate.
rather they not be around
He's-
you. though.
I'd rather
He
they
fears them
didn't
and doesn't
have
hate them.
to be homeless.
Yeah.
I fear them.
he fears them.
I don't fear them. Fuck, man. Come on.
Oh,
Goodbye, everybody.
God.
Have a great week.
See you
Bye.
later.
Unless you're homeless.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.